At the Institute, I head stakeholder relations. And one of the biggest things we do is teach people on how to run their businesses, but more so engrave in the governance issues of the businesses. And so this topic is very interesting to me as a person. And I'll tell you why. One, because I'm a trader myself. Many of you might know that I also sit on the board of CASITA, that's Kampala State Traders Association. I am an owner of smaller businesses, and I am the founder and CEO of Popcorn Masters. Popcorn Masters, most likely many of you have eaten some of my popcorns around Kampala. Many of the supermarkets you go to, in some of the busy places and some of the concerts you might go to, most likely you've eaten some of my popcorns. If you've gone to cinema halls, you've eaten some of my popcorns. So it's a smaller business that I started. More so during COVID. It's when I started the outdoor experience of popcorn, and it has grown enormously. It's a small business that has been able to spread to about 23 selling points and earns me income daily. So I am basically a very engraved person when it comes to smaller businesses and scaling them. I've also started a chain of butchers. It's called Beef Masters. So anywhere you see Beef Masters or Popcorn Masters or Masters something, maybe you're seeing one of my smaller businesses. So this is a very passionate discussion for me, and I'm glad to be here. So I'm going to put off my video so we can be able to relate properly towards the presentation. I want to take the opportunity to thank you for hosting me, Enterprise Uganda, and the partners. Thank you so much for this interesting discussion. Very timely and very noble discussion for Uganda, because small businesses are very important to our economy, and I'll tell you why. Smaller businesses are the engine of our economy. And this has been said by several people. The president himself, the Minister of Finance, Enterprise Uganda has done research on this, and many other private entities and international entities. 90% of Uganda's private sector is made up of smaller businesses. And this is why wherever you go, you turn on your left, you see a small business, you see somebody having a small restaurant, you will see somebody having a grocery store, you will see somebody doing mobile money, you will see somebody selling shoes, you will see boutiques, you will see vegetable stalls. These are small businesses. Then you see some that are more organized than others. So they're in a better shops, but they're still small businesses. You see people selling mobile phones. Those are still small businesses. And all those put together contribute 90% of the private sector in Uganda. And they significantly contribute to the GDP of this country. These small businesses are drivers of innovation. You've had stories of people who have started small and the business have grown big. I've told you my popcorn business experience, from one popcorn machine during COVID to 23 selling points, and each machine gives me money. So I'm scaling that. So the innovation within has grown, and also we're now producing popcorn machines. So the small business that I started has been a drive of innovation on that pathway. And you've also heard about the late Mulwana, how he started this business from a small business to an empire of businesses. You've heard about the story of Mukwano, how he started. You've heard the story of Wavamuno, how he started. You've heard the story of Chairman Chirumira, You know, we started with a bicycle shop somewhere in downtown. So smaller businesses drive innovation. When we start small things in our carpentry shops, in our welding shops, then you're going to start building bigger things, more identifiable things that solve people's problems, and that drives innovation. Uh, Also, the small businesses are very important because they employ over 2.5 million people in Uganda, and that's directly, but they benefit other people like the family members. You put food on the table, it also employs you, the owner. So it's very important. And this is why we have to unlock the growth of the small businesses. We have to build trust in these small businesses, and also we ensure that they are sustainable so they don't fail. Because some reports show that Uganda is the most innovative and entrepreneurial country, but then we have a high business failure rate. So our businesses don't exist for more than 3 years. And that is very alarming. But the question is, why? Some people say we are facing a lot of challenges. Yes, there are challenges for small businesses. Challenges like limited to resources. We know that all factors of production are limited. Capital is limited. You want to access money, you can't find it. It is either expensive, you have to go to the bank, and it is expensive. You can't pay back the loan or you can't pay the interests. Two, also accessing it is very hard. We have things like land. You want to go and do farming. Where do you get the land? It is a very big question for many of the small businesses that are in agriculture, because you want to scale, you want to irrigate. Where do you get the equipment? You are selling shoes in Owino. Where do you get the resources to expand your business to grow it? So you move away from one stall and go into maybe a better branded place where people can really identify with your brand. These are some of the issues we are facing. Resources are limited. And now there are other new resources that have come up in the 21st century. Resources like internet. Can you access information using your phone? Do you have the data? Can you afford data? Recently, you saw the traders were striking and saying we cannot use infreeze. Why can't we use infreeze? Because we cannot buy data. We cannot access data. Some of our arcades don't have internet underground. So these are some of the limitations in terms of resources. We have intense competition between smaller businesses. Smaller businesses are usually the same. You see a boutique here, after one shop, you see another boutique. After one shop, you see a third boutique, you see a fourth boutique, and they are selling the same things. Clothes, ladies' clothes. They are selling shoes, the same shoes. What? That competition is too high for businesses to survive until you innovate within the process, and we're going to see that. Then complex regulations. You've seen recently Parliament has passed a tax procedures code where they are trying to simplify some things. They are saying that small starting businesses will not pay taxes for 3 years. This means that the regulations, government is trying to relax some of the regulations, but we've had very complex regulations, and others contradict between local government and the central government. But also we've had a lot of complexes in registration, in getting a TIN number. And that's why you see that the tax procedures code has also simplified by saying that instead of having a TIN number, then you have a NIN number, then you have a bank account, then you have what? All these are going to be centralized around your NIN number. Your national identification number will be your tax identification number, because wherever you go, it is asked for. So government is trying to reduce or try to relax some of the regulations so that the businesses can thrive. The other one is lack of adequate knowledge and skills. Many of our businesses, we start them out of passion or out of necessity. Sina mulimo, you start a business. And when you start a business, it grows up to a certain point. You can run it for the first 6 months because you are using passion. After the 6 months, it needs skill. but you don't have the skill to sustain that business. And that's why these businesses die. You have started, for example, a butcher. You don't know where the lufula is. You don't know where the abattoirs are. You don't know the pricing of the beef. You don't know where to buy a proper weighing scale from. You don't have a very skilled person to help you sell in the butcher. So some of these things, the soft skills are needed. You have the knowledge, but also the soft skills. Skills like, how do I market? How do I organize my business? How do I showcase my business? How do I add value to what I'm selling? Some of these things we lack them. Accountability. How do I account? How do I keep the books of my business? So when you fail to do some of these small things, your business is bound to fail. And it's a very big challenge for many businesses. So the biggest question we shall ask ourselves is, what distinguishes successful and sustainable small businesses from those that struggle? Because most of the small businesses in Uganda are struggling. So what is that particular issue that differentiates, that distinguishes successful and sustainable small businesses from those that are in chaos and those that are struggling? The one good answer is good governance. People will have the skills. You bring the best person into your business. They will come, they will give them the best salary. They are the most qualified. But if your governance in your business is very poor, you will fail. That small business will never survive. And I will attempt to define good governance for you. What is governance? When a business fails and you go there as a client and ask, why did Joshua close his shop? What happened to the business that was here? People will give you feedback. They will tell you, no, he used to open late. Two, he used to go early, even when clients are here. He doesn't care about clients. Spent the money in other things. Used the business money to do some other things. They will tell you he never cared about clients. They will tell you a lot of things. But all these things boil down to one thing: governance of your business. Governance of your business. So what is good governance? Why is it very important? Why is it something that a small business should focus on? What does it mean? Good governance is a structured framework, or call it a system of rules, practices, and processes tailored for your business. A system of rules. Let's look at the rules. What rules? For example, one, you say, my business will be opening at 8 a.m. Monday to Saturday. That is the rule for your business you've put. You will say the second rule of my business is I will not spend from the vault. That when I sell something, I'm not going to touch my vault to pick out money and buy food for myself to eat. You've set two rules for your business. And we shall clap our hands and say, this business person, this business owner is very serious with the business. But then we shall examine, what is the practice? You set the rule, you'll open at 8 a.m. You'll close at 5 a.m. Monday to Saturday. What is the practice? Do you really open at 8 a.m. every day? Or when it comes to practice, you open at 10 a.m. and then you leave early. So the practice has died. When you kill the practice, there is no good governance. Then let's look at the processes. The processes, you say, I'm going to be procuring my things from the manufacturer directly. But how is that process? How are you going to make the payments? Is it through mobile money? Are you going to use the bank? Are you going to go with the cash? When those things you buy them, how are you going to transport them? These are processes that you tailor to your business. And these are important to make the business sustainable. You create a system of rules, and those rules create the practices that you follow. And those practices give birth to the processes that you tailor to your business. And this is why good governance is very important. So when you do these three, when you create rules and create practices that follow those rules, and then you create processes that are tailored to your business, you become different. Yeah? You become different. You've moved away from the saying that is trending now that you get money for building the house and then you go and use it to buy a car because you want to level up with somebody who was doing something else. So it's very, very important to create your own rules that you tailor to your own business, because then that helps you survive. But when you create all this, when you create your framework, your structured framework, you create your rules, your practices, and your processes, and you tailor them to your business, they are tested by pillars of good governance. The pillars of good governance are accountability. So you said you open at 8 a.m. Monday to Saturday. The accountability for that to your stakeholders. Do you really do that? Are you accountable to your stakeholders when they ask why didn't you open? Do you give genuine reasons? When your stakeholders are seeing that they have supported you for 1 year, but your business is not changing, it is the same. No painting, same house, no shelves are not organized. The business actually is deteriorating on a daily basis. You are not giving accountability to your people who are supporting you, to your customers. Part of accountability is to show growth in your small business. Even if it means just changing the shelves, changing the color of the shelves, or even just rearranging, you're giving accountability and saying, I am progressing as a business. You didn't have a signpost, now you have a signpost. It lights up. That is, you're giving accountability to the people who are giving you money. So it's very important to give accountability on a daily basis to yourself as the business owner and to the other stakeholders. Transparency is also very important. You've walked to mobile kiosks and you've seen MTN has actually printed, MTN and Airtel would have printed a poster that has the rates at which they send money, the costs of sending money. In my butcher, I have printed a price card so that nobody says that I bought beef from your butcher and 2 minutes after my neighbor came and bought and they were given at a cheaper price. No, transparency, that it is clear. People know how much you sell something, how you do things, and they can relate with it. 3 is trust. You must build trust. You must make sure that people trust your business. People trust your character as the owner of the business. You must display that on a daily basis, and it must be seen within the business. That people can trust your business, that somebody will not have to call to say, or send a child to say, Gendo labo beduka ligule. Go and see if the shop is open. No, they know by the fact that you will open from 8 a.m. to 5 a.m. So they don't need to ask anybody. They will just have to walk to your place and they'll find it open. Because they are within those hours. That is trust that they have built because of your consistency, because of your practice. Then integrity, this is very key. Integrity, truthfulness. It is very important in businesses. How are you doing your business? You've bought something a bottle of soda at 500 shillings, and you are selling it at 1,000 shillings, and Coca-Cola has written that this bottle will cost 1,000 shillings at retail price. And what do? You choose to sell it at 3,000 without justifying added value. That is where the problem comes from. So integrity is being truthful. Your suppliers have given you things. Have you paid them? You tell them, pay. I'll pay you next weekend. Next weekend comes, you don't pay. Integrity kills businesses. So your supplier will run away from you. And when they run away, they speak about you and say, "Oh, Tasasula." Your small business will not thrive. It will fall. Responsibility is the another one. It is a very good pillar of good governance. Are you responsible as an entrepreneur? Are you responsible as the business owner? What shows that you are responsible? You own a public address system, and you are near a school. You own a bar, and you are near a school. How responsible are you to ensure that that school continues and also your business continues, so that the community appreciates you as part of the ecosystem of the community? Responsibility that when you take something, when you say something, you're going to fulfill it as a business owner. Your employees must see the responsibility that you showcase. They must feel it. You pay their salary because you said you will pay it or, the next day. So responsibility of the community, of the environment, of the people around you, it is very, very important for good governance. Otherwise, when, for example, when you are in the market and you sell vegetables and sweet bananas and mangoes, and then you keep peeling all those things as you sell to your customers and dump them in the road, are you being responsible? Will the community appreciate you? I see people of restaurants, small restaurants, after washing their utensils and all the leftovers, they go and pour in the road. That's not being responsible, and it's not good governance around your business. And therefore, it will fail because people don't want what you are doing, so they won't support you. So we need to be responsible. And then lastly is excellence. For everything you do, make sure you do it to the best of your knowledge, to the best of your ability, if you are a barber, for example, excellence is very important. How you shape somebody's hair, somebody's head, the care you give them, the excellency in that care that you are giving them. It is very important. When you talk about the food industry, the excellence that you display must be top notch if your business is to survive. And for us, that is good governance. Those are pillars of good governance. If you don't do those things, if people are saying, "Toli mwesigwa mu byobusuubuzi," then there's a problem. That means your business will fail. If people don't trust you, if people say, "No, we cannot trust you," then there's a problem. If people see you as you are irresponsible, then your business will fail. Then lastly, clear roles and responsibilities. Good governance will help you have clear roles and responsibilities. It will help you define decision-making processes and the organization structure. For example, you are in a restaurant. You know that there is somebody who has a responsibility to buy things in the evening, to buy the food, go to Kalere, buy the food, buy the tomatoes, buy the meat, buy everything, and bring it to the restaurant. It is a responsibility. It is clear that Joshua will do that. Then you know that it is also clear that there is somebody who will be at the restaurant and open it in the morning so that other people can come in and do their work. Clear roles. There's one who buys, there's one who has the keys, they will have to open, there's one who has to clean, or the place, so that when customers come in, it is clear. If it is a salon, there is one who handles hair for men, and that is what they do. That's their role. There is one who will handle hair for women, and that's their role. There is one who will do.
Okay. Joshua, I can't hear you anymore. Maybe he's having a technical issue. Let's give him a minute. Yes, I think he's having an internet issue.
Component of good governance is clear roles and responsibilities. Good governance will streamline and give you a clear picture of who does what and what are they responsible for. And I gave an example that in my butchers, they know that it is me who is going to source for the beef. I deal with the suppliers, and I'll make sure that before I go to bed, the supplier is aware of what quantities to deliver where and at what time. But then somebody else handles the operations of that butcher. Somebody else, not me. It is the responsibility of another person to make sure that the daily selling of the beef to the customers, handling the customers, and solving the daily issues is to that person. And I'll come back again and say how much was made, how much was banked. Clear roles between the people. And I gave an example so that if you are in a saloon, for example, in the hair industry, it is important for you to know who is going to do the barber business, who is shaving off the hair for a man, who is handling the ladies. Do they know their responsibilities? Do they know what they're going to do? So good governance helps you achieve those differentiation and clear explanation of the roles of the different people. So business can thrive. When people don't know what they're doing in your business, have you ever employed people that don't know what they're doing in your business? They are just there. So it is very important. It is very clear. Also, it helps you as the owner of the business to understand the roles that people have to do. Otherwise, you start saying you don't know what people are doing, yet you're the one who employs them. Get. So it's very important. Good governance provides the necessary structure, ensures small businesses are twice as likely to succeed and avoid the common pitfalls. And I think when you put all these three together, you'll be able to avoid the common pitfalls. Let's continue. So why is good governance a game changer? This is where it comes in. Why should you root for good governance in your small business? Good governance creates a clear difference between chaos and sustainable success. Every business you see that is chaotic, that is struggling, it is because of of lack of good governance. That's why it is not sustainable. That's why it will go away. Some of us who are in the business and we know good governance, we look at certain businesses and you say that business is going to go away. It's going to die in the next 6 months. And you wait for it to die and then you go and take over the premises. Because you know good governance. Good governance does these things. This is why it's a changer. One, it builds trust and enhances reputation. Reputation is very important for a business. Two, it drives operational efficiency and performance. Three, it mitigates risks and ensures compliance. You've seen many of the cases of the business people. URA has sent an agency notice. URA has closed my shop. URSB has registered the business. There are court issues because you didn't supply what you said you will supply, and a lot of inefficiencies. And 4, it attracts investment and fuels growth. Good governance attracts investment and fuels growth. This is very important. You will ask some people where they got, why they got investment. And I will share some examples. So let's link these, why governance is good governance is a game changer. Let's link it to the impact to your business. 1, we say it builds trust and enhances reputation. Your reputation is very important. Why is it very important? Why is building trust very important? Because a business that has good governance, it builds trust and enhances reputation. Why are those important? It increases customer loyalty by 15 to 20% through transparency. So if you are practicing good governance in a business, you are likely to have more loyal customers, at least between 15 to 20% more than those that don't practice good governance. So you see why some of our businesses keep clients because of good governance. 2, good governance improves employee retention by 10% with clear policies. Every employee wants to work with a company, with a person who is very clear in their policies. We open at 8, we close at 5. During the day, we do A, B, C, D. On Tuesdays is when we go and shop and we purchase our stock. On Thursdays, when we balance our stock, we change and clean the organization. The policies are clear. Every employee wants to work with that person because you are clear. And if you are clear in your business, it improves your employee retention by 10%. 3, it fosters confidence with stakeholders. Good governance. When somebody walks into your business and they see you have an operational license up there, you have your tax certificate up there, you have your price list, you have your employment rules. They have seen you consistent. The customers have seen you open at 8 a.m. and close at 5 consistently for 1 year. Then they build the confidence in your business. Your suppliers build confidence in your business because they see that you're practicing good governance. 4, it boosts public image and attracts up to 5% more new clients. People are attracted to businesses that practice good governance. Now, if you don't have new clients on a daily basis, just know you have a problem of governance in your business. You're not showing the practices. This is the most desired place for any small business. Trust and enhancing reputation. Your reputation, this is the very desired place for every business. 2, good governance drives operational efficiency and performance. This is why it's a game changer. Because it boosts efficiency and performance. By doing what? By streamlining decisions, you reduce delays by 25%. You reduce delays by 25%. That's what good governance does. So those that don't practice good governance, you are very slow. You are 25% behind those that practice good governance. That's why you can drive to KFC and you drive through and you get what you want. You order at point A, at point A, you drive through. By the time you are at point C, you have your order. They have removed delays because they have practiced good governance. So they have operational efficiency. And 2, reduced redundancy. Good governance cuts repetitive tasks by 10%. with clear roles. So you remove redundancy in the whole process. 3, it improves cash flows. Financial controls boost cash flows by 15%. That's what good governance does, because you are accountable, because you are responsible. Your cash flows don't just go out. You don't have funny withdrawals from your business because you have controls. And 4, higher productivity. Good governance breeds higher productivity. Processes optimization increases output by 8%. These percentages are very relevant for smaller businesses because they add value to your processes. So good governance translates directly. So good governance translates directly into tangible operational improvements, making your business agile and effective. This is why it is a game changer for smaller businesses. The third is it mitigates risks and ensures compliance. It mitigates risks and ensures compliance. How? It reduces legal liabilities, saving 5 to 10% in potential fines. Because if you practice good governance, then you know that you need to have an operational license. You know that your business should be registered. You know that if you sold, you need to remit VAT. You know that you need to file your returns. Compliance, it is very, very key. So if you have good governance practices, you know that your operational license for local government should be paid. 2, protects assets from fraud, preventing losses common to 60% of the businesses. If you practice good governance, you protect your business and assets from fraud, and you prevent common losses to about 60% for smaller businesses. Just imagine if somebody robs you 60% from your business. If you lose it because you don't have good governance, the business goes away, and this is why some of the businesses have died. 3, ensure adherence to critical regulations. Good governance will put you into that direction. Compliance. And 4, strengthens cybersecurity protocols, preventing costly data breaches. You know that. So in your small businesses, this way they were showing they were showing research was showing how we use data in Uganda. And they were saying we are using 55 billion shillings on TikTok in data. You can imagine. So are you on TikTok creating business? Are you on TikTok? Are your employees on TikTok doing business or looking for clients for you? Or they're on TikTok doing other things? Bali mukwemola on TikTok. So that if you have good governance, then some of those things don't happen in your business. So good governance, it is proactive governance, safeguards your business from legal, financial, and reputational threats. This is why it is a game changer in smaller businesses, because it safeguards your business from legal, financial, and reputational threats. Another good one, good governance attracts investment and fuels growth for your small business. It is said that 3 times more attractive to investors. Businesses that have good governance are 3 times more attractive to investors. So you are there, you are struggling, looking for financing, looking for partners, looking for suppliers. They cannot give you their things on credit because your business lacks good governance. So you better start practicing good governance. Structured businesses signal stability and potential. Are we together? 2, better loan terms. If you have good governance in your business, when you go to the bank and they say, where is the registration certificate? You have it. Where is the tax compliance certificate? You have it. Where are your NEMATs? You have it. Or where are your memorandum of understanding? You have it. It has clear objectives. You potentially 0.5 lower interest rates due to reduced risk. The bank will actually give you a better interest rate. Your suppliers will supply you at a better interest rate, at a better rate. They'll supply you at a better rate because they know even if they give you on credit, you'll pay because you're a stable business, because you practice good governance. 3, up to 20% higher valuation. Small businesses that practice good governance have higher value. Higher value. When you look at it, it has higher value. Again, when you go to somebody who is selling chicken on the roadside, frying it properly, and it is very tasty, very nice. And you go to KFC, the same thing, different value of the business. The value of the business, it is very different. Why? Because one is practicing good governance and the other one is not. So it enhances market value for future sale or acquisition. So when you want to sell your business in the future or attract funders or attract any partner, make sure that you have good governance practices in your business, because strong governance makes your business a more appealing prospect for external capital facilitation, and facilitation is significant for expansion. And facilitation is significant for expansion. Lastly, smarter decisions and better outcomes. Good governance establishes clear processes, ensures decisions are well informed, efficient, and aligned with long-term goals. Clear processes define the roles and responsibilities streamlined for decision-making, data-driven emphasis on accurate information over intuition and robust choices. This is very important for small businesses. Don't make decisions anyhow. For example, you have been selling sugar, and the turnover of sugar is high, and then you have to buy soap, and then you have to buy posho, you have to buy rice. The data you've collected in terms of people who are buying sugar should make you make a decision that you're going to procure and make sugar more available in your business. So you make data-driven decisions. So even smaller businesses have data that can be collected. And then risk mitigation, proactive identification and management of potential threats in your businesses is very, very important. Then strategic alignment ensures that decisions support the business's long-term vision. You want to stay for a long time. You want to expand. You want your business to grow. Then your decisions and practices must be in line with your long-term business vision. As I close, good governance is a game changer for small businesses. It is the essential foundation for enduring small business success. If you have a boutique and you get 1 million shillings and you want to invest it in your boutique, do you have other 2 people or friends you consult and say, look at my business. You know my business. I have 1 million shillings. What do you think I should invest in this business? Those 2 friends will give you extra thoughts, 2 more extra thoughts added to yours, 3 thoughts of how you should spend that money in your business. It is most likely that you're going to make the best decision in your business because you have people you consult. In big organizations, that is called an advisory board. But in small organizations, we have people who care about our businesses. So we discuss with them, make sure that we make the best informed decision for that business. 2, invest in governance today to ensure your business's future. Good governance, invest in it today. Give it time today, and your business will be secured for the future. 3, begin by establishing clear roles, simple policies, and regular reviews to build resilience and a thriving enterprise. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much. And I will hand over back to the moderator. Thank you.
Wow. Hmm. Thank you. Thank you, Joshua, for a very insightful and interesting presentation on good governance. My key takeaway is that good governance is really, it helps to take the load off, so you don't have to carry the whole load yourself. You're very articulate about how you have some responsibilities for yourself and some for the staff. So I have a question right there. Which responsibilities do you decide to keep for you as a business owner? And then which ones do you delegate for the staff? But I also like what you emphasize at the end about advisory boards. Many of us have businesses and there's no one we are accountable to. It's my business. I am the alpha, the omega. But it helps because even in life, it helps to work with someone who you are accountable to. So as a business owner within your network, who are the people that you can speak to be accountable to provide that advisory service for you. And I even imagine some might volunteer to do it. So that is the key takeaway for me. So we do have some questions in the chat, which you can get to. Someone asked early on, when you talk about small businesses, what's the definition? Is it, do you define them by value or volume, number of staff? How do you define small businesses?
Thank you so much. Is there any other question?
Yes. Do you want me to read some
Yes.
more?
Yes.
Okay. The biggest, that's a big one. I'll get back to it about staff. What advice do you give to small business concerns around contracting business or development loans? I think that is on loans or contracting services in general. Esther says the challenge is that good governance can be so impressive on paper, but reality is different. Like someone commented, employees just want to earn. So the proprietor does her best to put the policies in action, but the employee is not committed. So it is execution. You've said so many good things. I guess Esther's question is, how do you bring this to life? And the context around that is what Katuramu asked, which is that the biggest challenge we face as business owners is finding great employees. We're in a generation where people want to earn but don't want to work. Employees are lazy. No matter how much we train, they're just not interested in improving. All they want is to earn their salary at the end of the month and abscond from work. So the issue around productivity and engagement of employees makes it difficult to execute many of the good governance best practices that you've presented. Can you speak into that?
Thank you so much. I'm going to start with the last one, finding the right employees. Now, good governance will tell you that the best decision you can ever make as an owner of business is you yourself being the right person for that business. Are you the right owner for the business? It's a very big question to ask yourself. Many people start business and they think that they're the right people to push those businesses ahead. Sometimes you're not. Steve Jobs had to be thrown out of his own business that he started until he rediscovered himself. Then he came back to make Apple successful. Sometimes the biggest decision is, are you the right person for that business? You as the owner. And if you're not, then you have to find the right person. And the biggest decision you can ever make for your business is to find the CEO of your business. If you're not going to be there, if you find the right CEO, you have simplified 90% of the problems of your business. And you're headed for success if you have the right CEO. So it is very important for you to invest time as an entrepreneur, as a owner of the business, in understanding the business itself. Because then you remain at the helm as an advisor or as somebody they can brush ideas with, and you know all the angles of the business. So for me, from my experience of handling small businesses and starting them, the biggest failure of the business has been the owners themselves. So it's very, very important that you work on yourself as a business owner so you are able to identify the right employees, because you cannot identify the right employees if you don't know the business. This is why most people just hire. You hire because somebody has said they know how to do it. You hire because people are cheap. You go to a restaurant, it is a very good restaurant, a very polished restaurant, but the people, the waitresses, the waiters don't know anything about food. They know anything about service. They don't know anything about the etiquettes of the food itself and the restaurant itself. You kill the business because you are hiring cheap and not hiring quality. So find time to invest yourself in the business, understand it, and then you can identify people who know your business and love it from the heart. So that is very important. Higher passion for what you're doing. Then the other one was good governance is good on paper, but hard to execute. I don't think this is true. We've just gone through good governance. Good governance is a set of rules of how your business is run and the practices of how your business is run, governed and run. How is that hard to implement? If you say that your rule is to open your business at 8 a.m. every day, so what is the practice? Do your employees come at 9? Do your employees come at 10? Do they come at midday? So what's hard to implement there? Set the rules and leave the practice. And it starts with you, the business owner. If you say that every Wednesday is when we do procurement for the business, yes, that's when you do the purchases. What is hard to implement there? It is difficult to implement because you, the owner, has not invested yourself and engraved yourself in good governance of your own business. That's why it becomes hard. What's the problem with putting up your operational certificate in your business? What's the problem with building trust, with being responsible as a business owner? So you don't litter the environment, you don't throw veras everywhere because you sell something that is packaged in veras. So good governance is actually more practical than anything else. We even say practice at home. For those who are married, you know that governance at home works because there's a head of family, there's a managing director who is the head of the family, then there's a CEO, a chief executive officer, who is the wife. Then you have these other stakeholders, children, grandmother, grandfather, and all those. That entire entity is governed. It must espouse good governance. How? Because everybody has clear rules. You put clear rules and say, I'm here as the head of the family, I'll do ABCD. You as the chief executive officer, you have to do ABCD because you are my wife, and the children have this responsibility. That's good governance. Imagine if you come back home and your son has given away the TV to the neighbor. Do you think that home has good governance? No. So why do you come back to your business and something is not there? It means you are not espousing good governance in your small business. So it is very practical. It is not something built up on paper. No, it is something you have to understand and implement because it is very, very practical. Then contracting and financing businesses. I think this is a very interesting mix of things. What good governance will do, it will make your business investment ready. It will make your business investment ready. Because when anybody looks at it, they see it as a going concern. They don't see it as a business that is going to fail tomorrow. They see it as a business that is going to be there and is sustainable. So it's very important to have good governance. And good governance, people think it costs a lot. It doesn't. Setting rules doesn't cost a lot. Following them as practice doesn't cost anything. You being able to be trusted and building trust does not cost anything. It's just your daily practices that make you trustable. So small businesses are not just doing this. They are dodging around all the time. You go to arcades and find people locking their shops because they borrowed money from a money lender and they cannot pay back. So these practices are very, very important. So good governance is very important, very practical. Then somebody talked about what responsibilities can be delegated and what do you retain as the owner of the business. I will say feel free to delegate any responsibility as the owner of the business, but you cannot delegate accountability. You as a business owner, you're still accountable to all your stakeholders because you've delegated the responsibilities. And as soon as you delegate the responsibilities, don't delegate accountability. So when that person executes the responsibility, they must come back to you and say, this is what you told me to do on your behalf. I did it. And these are the outcomes. Then you become accountable. So you fall into line with what they have done. So you are able to account for their actions. As soon as you cannot account for actions of your employees, then you've lost. You've lost in your business. So accountability, somebody says I should expand more on accountability. Accountability is being able to explain what has happened with evidence, with value. Those two must be there. If you're going to give accountability, you say you sent me to buy a cup, right? Yes, I went and bought a cup. This is the cup. You show the cup, physical evidence. The cup is there. Then you show a receipt, meaning you gave the money and they gave you the cup. Then value, the cup you bought for the business, what are they using it for? Is there a value for it? That's accountability. It's not just speaking that I did ABCD, I'm doing ABCD. No. It comes with value to the business. That is the end of it all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joshua. Just to add from my experience, some of you may know that I work with Jibu. Jibu, we franchise safe drinking water. We're in 8 countries in Africa. Other franchising businesses are like KFC. Why do these businesses succeed? Franchise businesses all over the world, McDonald's, Starbucks. It's because of exactly what Joshua is talking about. The governance is enforced by the system. The franchisor, the owner of the brand, enforces the governance, enforces the accountability. There are standards to follow. You open at 8, you close at 9. There are clear opening hours. The service should be a certain way. You hire a certain number of staff. You do things a certain way. Everything is set. If you go out of line, there's a penalty. There's a risk to losing a license, to losing the business, which is why franchise businesses all over the world, it's almost a guarantee that when you get into the system, the business will work for you because the accountability is forced. Compliance is mandatory. And so how to build that in a business that is not a franchise business is exactly what Joshua is talking about. It is you as the business owner to set in place these structures. Yes, with people in Uganda, it is difficult to get good employees, but you have to keep looking. But then also you have to ask yourself a question. Are you setting them up for success? For example, do they have a clear job description? What are they coming to do? How do you have standards? What does success look like in that role? Do they know what they're supposed to do? Do they know what success looks like? Is there training? So we may find that sometimes we bring people and they fail because even expectations were not clear. But then if the role is clear, yeah, we may have to, to keep looking. And I've also found that we hold on to the wrong people for so long. think we have that culture. We are too nice. We don't want to fire people. But someone said if you get a monkey and you want it to swim, it will be frustrated. You'll be frustrated. So you have to look for the fish. So once the role is clear and you know exactly what you expect out of it, you just have to keep looking. And there are good people out there. You might need to go through a couple of unfit ones, but you will finally get the right one. Let's see. Joanne was asking, good governance and compliance, what's the difference?
Good governance and compliance, what's the difference? Now, good governance, actually compliance is just, it's within good governance. So good governance is the bigger set and compliance is just one of the components of good governance. Because in the pillars of good governance, we talked about accountability, transparency, trust, integrity, responsibility, and excellency. So accountability was number one. So compliance would fall within those pillars, that you are being transparent to the stakeholders, that you are registered, you are paying your taxes, your fair share of your taxes, you're being responsible for the environment, you're doing things the right way and right practice. For example, if you're dealing in products that are not supposed to be consumed by people under 18, you are complying with that and you ensuring and demonstrating that that must be the issue, that must be the practice. That's compliance. So what enforces that is good governance. So it is very hard for you to achieve compliance if you have very bad governance. We found out that most of the businesses that have bad governance actually don't comply with anything, and therefore they attract penalties. They attract government heaviness in terms of the arm. They don't get good financing. They don't get good credit. So compliance is just a component that is achieved because of good governance practices.
Thank you. As a business owner, how can I align new staff to the business vision?
I beg your pardon?
As a business owner, Elijah is asking, how can I align new staff to the business vision?
New staff. Now, it's very, very important that every time you recruit new people to business, you take time to orient. We call it induction and orientation of those people into business. When you go to in electricity, it's called installing. You install. In ICT, it's called installing. You install the user. You install your employees. Don't just bring somebody from wherever they come from and you say you start tomorrow. Take time to install them, to install your vision, to make them learn and engrave the ideas and realign them to your vision. Because if somebody's reason for working is out of necessity, for example, I come to you and I want a job. But why do I want the job? Because I want to earn money and be able to support myself. That is my ambition. That is my vision as an employee. So when I come to you, I am coming for my own selfish reason. So it's going to be up to you, the employer, to orient me to your vision and say, look, what we want to achieve as an organization is we want to grow into 6 franchises in 1 year. And you, as the front desk operator, you are very, very key to this vision. And when we do it well and we expand to 6 franchises in the region, then we will increase your salary. When you increase your salary, increase your benefits, increase your working conditions, then you are able to get more money to go and care for yourself, also care for your siblings. So you have achieved the employee's vision and you have also engraved their vision into yours, into the bigger vision. That's how employees are installed. Most organizations, you just bring in somebody, they work for you, you don't know what their dreams are, you don't know what their ambitions are, you also don't follow their growth path because you've employed somebody who is single today. After 3 years, they get married. Their needs have changed. Their ambitions have changed. Their pressures have changed. So you as an employer, you need to understand their journey so you incorporate that journey within your bigger vision. And if you cannot accommodate their journey, it is wise to leave them go and get some other possibilities elsewhere. Thank you so much. Hope I've answered that.
Thank you. Gabi Martin is asking, so he's in the sports space. So he's seeking your input about good governance in the sports and culture industries. Well, do the best practices change or are they generally the same across industries?
Thank you so much for the question. The practice don't change. Good governance is good governance is a standard. We said it's a set of rules, practices, and processes you can tailor to your business. So if in your sports world, for example, we are talking about you opening your gym at 8 a.m. Is it open? Or you're opening your gym at 5 a.m. because you have the early shooters, people who have to come to the gym for 1 hour and and dress and go to work by 8 a.m. So is your gym open at 5 a.m.? If your clients know that it's open at 5 a.m., then those people who are early shooters will come early in the morning and do their gym and well because they know they don't have time in the evening to do their gym. If you close at 5, then you lose out some clientele. So if you say you'll open up to 9, that should be the practice that I'll open at 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. And so your clients know. So anybody can walk in anytime in between and do their gym and go. So it's a standard, it's a practice. You've set that rule. Then what is the practice? You do the same. For example, you have trainers. Do they have a code of practice? How do they handle the clients? How do they handle the female clients? How do you resolve disputes if you have them? These are the rules you set and procedures. So it does not change. What you do is tailor these rules and procedures to your business. Hope that answers the question.
Okay. So good governance, I think we need to touch on the transparency and that fear, because I think we put out many a smoke screen, but sometimes they say the thing behind the thing is the thing. The real thing behind is the fear, because good governance exposes it brings that transparency, yeah, and which some people may fear to share. You talked about, casting the vision and, getting the employees to know about the plan. And most people fear about sharing. At Jibu, for example, we do have revenue profit sharing agreements with the staff. We do, every employee in Jibu has shares in the business, and that's how we drive ownership and productivity and even longevity in the business. But some may fear that kind of approach. What would you say to that business owner who is afraid?
Now, transparency does not mean that you put everything out there for everybody to see. Data and information is also a tool of competitiveness. But there is public information. There's information you want to put out, like my vision is to grow into 6 retail shops. It's to expand to 24 butchers around Kampala, right? In 1 year. that vision, you can put it out there, because when people know it, then they start prompting you towards it. Somebody will see a place and say, Joshua, don't you think this place needs a butcher? You come and look at it. A landlord can say, I have a place in space A. Can you come and look at it and see if your butcher can go there? Why? Because they know your vision, they know your ambition. But then there are those what we call non-disclosures, right? There are things you cannot put up in the public because you want to be transparent. No, they are it's data for your own competition, for your own safety, and that's how you compete as a business. So non-disclosures are there. Agreements cannot be put in the public. Not everybody should know that what people earn in your organization. But it's okay for people to know that you have this number of employees, that you pay a certain amount of taxes every year. Businesses do that. They say annually we pay 1 billion Ugandan shillings into taxes, but they don't specify and cut it down. You can say I employ 50, I have 50 employees and I churn out 200 million or 20,000 shillings per month in terms of employees. You don't specify who earns what, who earns what. So information must be ciphered through so that it does not also go against data protection as a policy.
Okay. All right. Someone else, I think, will close with that. A checklist. If you share the presentation, for them to generate a checklist to do a self-assessment on how they are with good governance. Mugabe and many others are very thankful for the advice, seeking your contact. Martin Mugabe wants to invite you to the Uganda Gymnastics Federation.
Okay.
So where can people find you?
Thank you so much. I'll share my contact. I'll leave it in the chat. As Alice has a question. Alice has put up her hand and she said she wants to ask directly.
Oh,
Alice,
yes.
please do. As I put my details in the chat.
Thank you so much for allowing me to ask my question. I'm Alice Arnaitwe. Thank you, moderator, for allowing me. I'm in the real estate space, but also a scholar in the SME space, specifically in energy management of SME space. Allow me to thank Enterprise Uganda and also thank Mr. Mawerere for an eminent topic that is very key for SME sustainability. I wanted to follow up on the very first question that was asked. I would also like to hear your view on the definition of an SME. Are we still following the Uganda Investment Authority, Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, SME policy, the manufacturing strategy? Which definition are we following? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that question. Now, this has been a question that has come up severally in different forums when we discuss about SMEs and small businesses. People are asking, do you define it depending on the number of employees? Do you define it depending on value of the institution, or in terms of investment, or in terms of equity that has been brought into the business? So there are vast explanations. One, me as me, I disqualify the issue of defining SMEs depending on the number of employees. I've seen organizations that are large private organizations that have fewer employees and they're turning over $1 billion plus every year. Why? Because they are IT-based organizations. So they have a lean management because most of the things have been automated. We have We have law firms that are handling bigger chunks of money and bigger businesses, and they are only 4 partners. There are only 3 partners. So are you going to say they are small? So because of ICT and how it has evolved in many of the business aspects, the issue of number of employees for me, it is dying out to be a definition of an SME. But maybe we can talk about in terms of value and turnover. For me, that's where I want to discuss, because I want to assume that if somebody is handling, let's say, 1 billion shillings a year, they are really transcending off being an SME, or they're even far off being an SME because they have understood the investment process. They have grown in terms of actions, they have grown in terms of suppliers, they have grown in terms of or every aspect of business. So I think usually I would speak about the turnover as less than 1 billion shillings annually. That would be an SME for me. That would be a small business. Hope that, but then that is for me. But we have an SME policy, and it gives it describes SMEs. We've also have a description by the UN that is also there. We'll have to look at these and compare and see what works for you. But usually our SME policy prevails. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joshua. And then Martin has reposted this question. What is from experience, what's the biggest challenge to practicing good governance, and what's the solution? You can answer that and also share your parting shots.
Thank you so much. The biggest problem in realizing good governance has been the reluctance of the owners of the businesses. The owners of what good governance does is it takes away your free thought as a business owner. It removes the reluctance. And most entrepreneurs think that they open up businesses so that they can be relaxed. And that's the difference. Good governance will teach you that there is no reluctance at all, that you've opened up a business as a serious matter, and therefore the business must thrive. So you have to wake up and open the business and close it when you have to close it, and procure according to the rules and regulations you've created, and pay according to the rules and regulations you've created. So it creates an obligation to the owner. So the biggest failure is because the owner still wants to be laissez-faire. They still want to operate reluctantly. Oh, it is raining, I want to go and open the shop. Oh, I don't feel like I want to go and work. That's where our businesses are failing from. So good governance streamlines the practice of doing business, and it makes businesses look serious and absolute trustable by the stakeholders. And my parting shots.
No, before the parting shots, I see 3 hands. This is becoming more and more interesting as we go. And we have 6 minutes. Maureen, Henry, and Alice, I think we'll take those and then bring this to a close. Maureen,
thank you so much for the presentation. Yes, thank you. My name is Maureen. I'm from Masindi. I run a bakery called Ganjana Bakeries. And I choose not to take shortcuts intentionally. For example, people use saccharin instead of sugar. They add excessive preservatives so that they can extend the shelf life of the bread. So my bread has a shorter shelf life, and definitely higher production costs. And the market price remains the same. If you add it, people complain. So you have to compete with the fellows. So while they're using unethical practices and lower costs and also longer shelf life, I am practicing good governance in quotes. Is it the right thing, or is it backfiring on my business? Especially when the market is actually rewarding the opposite. Does good
Thank you
governance
so
in this
much.
case backfire? Okay.
Thank you so much for that question. It's a very pertinent question. And what I'll tell you is good governance never backfires. It is an asset. It progresses. It makes the business progress. And the only thing you have to do is invest in putting out clear information on why you use what you're using. So use it as a marketing tool. My bread is baked using A, B, and C, natural ingredients that are sustainable with your body. And as a business, we remain ethical and concerned about your health as a consumer of our bread. That kind of communication removes all the competition from your face, because then you become different and unique in the way you are pushing your product. And this is why I talked about at the start. I said our businesses are the same. We duplicated businesses, but the difference you create in your branding is what you communicate. What do I use? What is the process? And what do you achieve when you use my bread? That communication must be strong. It should be your marketing strategy, and don't relent about it. Good governance is an asset for your business.
Right.
So lastly, I'm going to say, one, we have more of the lessons on businesses and how to run them and corporate governance. There are other angles of corporate governance, like corporate governance and the law, ESG. We have AI and governance of your business, the evolution of AI and the businesses. We have so many other courses that we put out at the Institute of Corporate Governance of Uganda. These courses are paid for. I'll also put our link or the website in the chat. Feel free to go and look at our website, see some courses that we have. If you can join as business owners, because you're already directors of your businesses, it's good to continue sharpening yourself. These are paid courses, so when you come in, you have to pay some money. We also a membership organization. We are an organization that brings together business owners, directors, board members, and senior management teams of different organizations. So if you want to speak to any business owner, or you want to talk to a CEO of any company in Uganda, then we are the best platform to join. Thank you so much. And the last thing I want to say is good governance is an asset to your business. Please don't relent. Keep pushing to achieve good governance. Thank you so much, and have a blessed day.
Thank you, Joshua. And once we share the presentation, I'm sure that our audience will use it to generate checklist. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for staying with us up to this point. And I still saw a few hands up. You can still put your questions in the chat. We'll get the responses and come back to you with them. But in the interest of time, that's all the questions that we could take today. John has advised that you set your price and inform the market strategically. Yes, the organic bread is a niche market. It appeals to a niche market, so you will have some uptake if you communicate the value proposition clearly.